by Jae-jun.
The header is good, and it's the giant defender John Tae-wook, and eventually Korea have broken the deadlock.
You're listening to the K-League United podcast, proud partner of Football Nation Radio.
Hello, I'm Ashmi Khan. Welcome to the weekend preview, a smaller, bite-sized edition of the K-League United podcast. I'm Paul Neate, and we start with the latest news headlines. One of Suwon Samsung Blue Wings' ACL opponents, Johor Darul Ta'zim, will not be permitted to travel to Qatar for the centralised AFC Champions League group stages. The Malaysian champions were due to face the Blue Wings in Group G, but have been forced to withdraw. Meanwhile, the K-League clubs heading to Qatar will do so on the same flight, and there's also a new contract for a Suwon Blue Wings legend. Our top story, JDT have been denied permission to travel to Qatar for the centralised AFC Champions League group stages. Alistair Edwards, the club's technical director, on Wednesday said that the club have been informed by the National Security Council that they will not be given permission to travel due to COVID-19 safety concerns. Johor Darul Ta'zim were due to face Suwon Blue Wings on Wednesday the 25th of November. More on that as we have it. Meanwhile, rivals FC Seoul and Suwon Blue Wings will embark on the 10-hour journey to Qatar together on the same flight, according to a report in Yonhap. On a separate flight, Jeonbuk and Ulsan will also travel together as well. Seoul and Jeonbuk will share the same hotel, while Ulsan and Suwon will do the same. Sticking with Suwon Blue Wings, club legend Yeom Ki-hoon has signed a new one-year contract. K-League's all-time leading assist maker has penned a one-year deal that will take him past his 38th birthday. On the other side of the super match, Yang Han-bin has been fined 5 million Korean won, or around $4,480 after being sent off in time added on in the final day Gyeongin Derby defeat. Yang was adjudged to have fouled Kim Do-hyuk and received a straight red card, but a disciplinary committee said that his behaviour constitutes a dangerous and violent act that could cause injury to the opponent. Meanwhile, recently relegated Busan I-Park have appointed Ki Young-uk as the club's new general manager. The father of Ki Sung-young was employed in a similar role with Gwangju FC from 2015 up until this year. Meanwhile, in women's football, the first leg of the WK League final finished 0-0 between Gyeongju Hansuwon and Incheon Hyundai Steel Red Angels. The all-important second leg will take place this Monday when Incheon will be looking to defend their crown. A departure from the norm. No K-League this weekend. That's because the Korean national team are in action instead. Paulo Bento and his team on Sunday departed for Austria to take on Mexico and Qatar for what will be the first full internationals in nearly a year. The most recent competitive matches were in the EAFF E1 Football Championship in Busan last December. The Ticket Warriors capped off 2019 with a 1-0 win over Japan to earn a record 5th title. And to take us through what to keep an eye on for South Korea during this international break is our national team columnist, Steve Price.
This international break, South Korea travel to Austria to take on Mexico and Qatar, the two most recent sides to beat South Korea in competitive matches. Mexico effectively knocked Shin Tae-yong's side out of the 2018 World Cup, and Qatar ended Paulo Bento's Asian Cup run at the quarter-final stage. But Bento said revenge is the last thing that should be on his players' minds. Even if South Korea are after revenge, it'll be a tougher task than some imagine. Not only has Paulo Bento not had a training session with some of his European-based players since this time last year, but he has also seen his squad decimated by injuries, COVID-19 and quarantine regulations. Fullback Kim Jin-soo is out after testing positive for COVID-19. Lee Young and Hong Chol both picked up injuries in the Korean FA Cup final. Park Ji-soo and Kim Min-jae haven't been released from their Chinese clubs as they have crucial end-of-season deciders still to play, and Lee Jae-sung and Kwon Chang-hoon are only available for Korea's match against Mexico. South Korea have kept 7 clean sheets in the past 8 games, but with most of their first-choice backline absent, the backups need to step up. Ulsan's Wondu Jae and Daegu's Jong Tae-uk are among the several players that Paulo Bento has called up from the under-23s to see what they can do for the full national team. And while most casual fans will be keeping their eyes on Son Heung-min and Lee Gang-in at the other end of the pitch, these friendlies will give Bento a chance to test out the next generation of South Korean defenders.
Fans, we want to hear from you. You're encouraged to email KLU at info@kleagueunited.com or tweet at KLeagueUnited with any questions, comments or reactions. Or follow us on Facebook to ask directly during one of our live shows.
Thank you very much for that, Steve. A reminder that Paulo Bento and his team take on Mexico in the early hours of Sunday morning here in Korea with a 5 a.m. kickoff before facing Qatar at 10 p.m. Korea time on Tuesday. Alright, before we go, here is a reminder of what happened in Korean football over the last week or so. After securing the K-League title last weekend, Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors on Sunday lifted the FA Cup after beating Ulsan Hyundai 2-1 in the second leg of the FA Cup final at Jeonju World Cup Stadium. Ulsan drew first blood with Junior Negrao giving the Harangi a third-minute lead, but a brace from Green Warriors midfielder Lee Sung-gi turned the game on its head to secure a first ever K-League and FA Cup double for Jeonbuk. The game proved to be rather eventful with Chul-soon and Dae Bul-twees both being sent off in second half stoppage time following a mass brawl, and it was also the last domestic match for Lee Dong-guk, who made a late cameo appearance off the bench to pick up a first FA Cup winners medal. Both sides suffered injuries too. Hong Chol for Ulsan, who has been forced to withdraw from the Korean national team squad, and Takehiro Kunimoto for Jeonbuk, not ideal with the Champions League set to get underway in less than 2 weeks. Jeonbuk already have Lee Young, Mado Barrow and Han Kyo-won all injured. Former Jeonbuk defender Kim Jin-soo has tested positive for COVID-19. The Korean international departed Jeonju for the Middle East, signing for Al Nassr in the summer, but an outbreak amongst the squad has so far affected 14 players and staff, including Kim Jin-soo. Much like Hong Chol, Kim has also been forced to withdraw from the Korean national team, and Lee Ju-young has been called up in his place. The Chosen Gwon, while Son Jun-ho being named as 2020 K-League 1 MVP will have grabbed much of the headlines from last week's awards ceremony, Sangju Sangmu was celebrating having a player named in the best 11 for the first time. Defender Kwon Kyung-won became the first player to represent the Army side and be chosen for the K-League's best 11. Kwon is on loan from Jeonbuk and featured 23 times, scoring once, and was involved in 11 games where Sangju kept clean sheets. Happy Hammers West Ham women picked up their first win of the season, edging past Birmingham City in a 2-1 victory. Cho So-hyun started and played the full 90 minutes in the centre of a midfield three. The Irons sit in 9th place, 4 points above Bristol City at the foot of the table. Our recent interview with Cho So-hyun is available still for those who haven't had chance to listen to it just yet. Elsewhere though, Ji So-yeon was on the score sheet for Chelsea's resounding 4-0 win over Everton, getting her side up and running in the 17th minute. Chelsea now sits in 3rd, 3 points behind Manchester United, but have played a game less. Lee Gang-in indispensable. South Korean starlet Lee Gang-in played 81 minutes in Valencia's 4-1 La Liga win over champions Real Madrid. The 19-year-old has now featured 8 times for Valencia this season, including in all 3 of their wins so far this term. Football TV. There are channels dedicated to golf. There are even channels that specialise in billiards. But why isn't there a channel that is solely for football? That is a question being asked by Lee Min-gol, the owner of K4 team Seoul Jungang Chorus Mustang. Well, from February next year, that is about to change. He said, even though there are a lot of football fans out there, having no specific football TV channel is a real shame. There are at least 20 million people in Korea who like football. He said also, if you are a football player, I want to get you on the air someday. The purpose of the broadcast is to make football fans enjoy watching football-related programming, and football TV will mainly consist of football-related education, talks, and broadcasting. Alright, that is all from us for this week. Thank you very much for tuning in. In case you missed it, Ryan Walters and a whole host of special guests previewed the AFC Champions League group stages on the main KLU pod, and there will be some Korean national team previews up on KLeagueUnited.com too. We are on social media, all at KLeague United, and to find us, the link is, as always, in the Bruno bio. Until next time, goodbye.
스코어 2대0 김남춘의 추가골. 지금 이준영 선수가